speaking of good quality films, we got one last year that won a Best Actress Oscar, and that's Yorgos Lanthimos' new film, or one that caught me and James completely by surprise because we didn't see it coming, we didn't hear anything about it, and I'm sure if we heard about it, it would have been on our most anticipated list. But yes, Yorgos Lanthimos' new film comes out this June 2024. It is titled Kinds of Kindness, and listen to this cast. This cast is jacked. It's got Emma Stone, Willem Dafoe, Margaret Qualley, and Jesse Plemons. Three of them starred in Poor Things, and there's a whole lot more that if I listed them all here, I'll just keep talking and talking because that's how big it is. The synopsis of this is a triptych fable with segments. I'm going to stop there and I'm going to explain what triptych is. So think of triptych as a painting which is in three different segments, Each segment is different, but when you put it together, it's one full picture. Think of that's what a triptych is, so keep that on the back of your mind. So the synopsis for this is a triptych fable with segments following a man without choice who tries to take control of his life. That's one segment. A policeman who is alarmed that his wife, who was missing at sea, has returned and seems to be a different person. Another segment. And the last segment is a woman who is determined to find a specific someone destined to become a I can't even say that word, sorry. A prestigious spiritual leader? No? How do you say that word?
I don't know.
Who wants to become a spiritual leader? So this sounds quite similar to Wes Anderson's what's it called?
Dispatch.
The French Dispatch.
Yeah.
How it's like different stories. Mm-hmm. So James, what do you think of Yorgos making a film like less than a year after his previous one, and the sort of concept around this film right now?
Well, yeah, it is an anthology movie where it just has all these smaller stories combined into one. I didn't even think of the French Dispatch when this movie came to my attention. I started to think of The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's done by the Coen brothers. I think it was on Netflix, but yeah, that movie, it's very much the same thing. And in terms of this movie coming pretty much, 6-7 months after Poor Things coming out, it's a miracle. I saw it and I had to do a double take. I was like, wait, actually it's coming out this soon. But I mean, it makes sense in terms of how this movie's made. I believe the shoot for this movie was less than 2 months, so there really isn't much to this movie. And if anyone thinks this is going to be like, another Poor Things movie's coming out, I definitely don't think it's that. I think this is just Yorgos Lanthimos having kind of like a passion project, doing something fun. It will still be good, I have no doubt in his ability, but I don't think it's going to get to the masterful level that we saw in Poor Things, because that one seems like it's a very dedicated project. But yeah, this one was done in 2 months and shot. It was shot in 2022, so a while back, and Poor Things was done in 2021. It's just the post-production for those movies, obviously COVID slowed things down, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I'm super excited for it, not for the same reasons as Poor Things, and I don't think this is going to be, a movie that's just going to dominate the Oscars. Although I saw lots of stuff on the internet like, look at the release date, it's not going to be an Oscar contender. Studio must not have faith in it. I'm like, please, Oppenheimer released in July and swept. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once came out in March, like a year before the Oscars, and swept. And what one before that? Coda, which released in January and then won in March next year. 13, 14 months after it had debuted for the first time. So I don't think the release date has anything to do with it, but I think the Academy really loves Yorgos. And so, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs was nominated for a few Oscars. I think song, costume design, and adapted screenplay. So movies like this, where it's an anthology one, and it has, different story, 3 different stories, all in one segment at a time. These movies can actually get some steam. They can be great despite the different concept to it. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Yorgos Lanthimos does in more of a contemporary setting rather than some, just weird and wacky kind of stuff. And I think the overall theme across all these three stories is going to be kindness. I think it's going to be something along that kind of theme, just as we saw with the trailer, kinds of kindness just in three different colors in each segment. If you've seen at the end of the trailer, it does that. So I'm like, okay, three stories, three different ways of kindness somehow, or whether it's... But knowing Yorgos, he's going to have some really twisted spin on this. I believe it's not going to be straightforward. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do with it.
Yeah, completely in agreement. As well, I also think that this film's going to be a visual hit as well. I mean, it was very fast-paced, this trailer, in terms of cut. But in those little cuts, like, the cinematography looked fantastic. There was one where someone's getting dragged down the hallway, and it was just a still camera down the hallway while movement was playing around it. It was fantastic. I think the lighting is going to be good in this film as well, and the sound as well. And the fact that he's brought back his two faves of Poor Things, Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe, just goes to show that, how Martin Scorsese has Leonardo DiCaprio, well, Yorgos has Emma Stone, because this is now, the third movie of his with Emma Stone in it? You got The Favourite, Poor Things, and...
Yeah, I think you're right.
And now this one? Yeah. So, I'm really interested. That one thing that does worry me is not in terms of that it's going to be three separate stories, just the stuff that I've seen in the past. And the most recent one is French Dispatch, and I wasn't a big fan of that film. I liked each individual segment, but it never came into one big one, and that's what sort of worries me, because I know that this director's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of hoping it's not just three individual stories. I hope it's three individual stories, and then, it comes into that one big picture.
No. If it's an anthology movie, it'll be three different stories. The commonality between them is, like, the theme, the message behind it, just showing through different stories. That's what it's going to be like. But I completely agree with you. I can't buy into those movies as much as, like, your straightforward feature-length movie. Like, just mini stories coming together. They're fun, they're enjoyable, they're good. French Dispatch was that.
Yeah, it's just not enough time to,
get absorbed,
connect with the characters.
Exactly.
And and at the end of the day, films are the most important thing is writing and character work, and everything else just accompanies that.
Yeah.
Along with acting. So it's really hard to get trapped or hooked or drawn to something within half an hour or 45 minutes and then just have a complete change to something else. That's I am excited for this, but I am a little bit cautious to my approach, just based on what I've seen in the past before.
Yeah, I'm exactly like you. I'm tempering my expectations just a touch, I know what I'm going to be in for this movie, and it's not going to be Poor Things. So, anyone who's watching, if you're expecting something along the lines of Poor Things, just take a step back, deep breath. It's not going to be like that, all right? It's going to be good, enjoy it, but it's not going to be the same, not at all. Please lower those expectations. I can just imagine this movie coming out and everyone just absolutely hating it because it's very different and not what they're expecting, and they're not common.
And everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, Yorgos Lanthimos was a Oscar nominee, and now he's just trash."
Oh, he's
blah
washed.
blah blah. But that, he's washed. He's hitting his low. He doesn't have that spark anymore. Oh, bro, shut up, you bitches, man. Shut up, man. God damn. All right, we're gonna move on before I get way too heated on these little trolls that we're just having an argument with, even though that the argument hasn't even started.
I
yet.
know. Yeah, they don't even exist.
But we just know that it's gonna happen.
You're just punching the air right now.